Ring around the rosy pocket full of posies. Ashes, ashes, we all fall down.
On April 28, 2001, the body of a naked 3-year-old black girl is discovered on 59th Street and Kensington Avenue in Kansas City, Missouri. Upon discovery, the head of the child had been severed from her body, which was found 3 days later in a trash bag 200 yards southeast of where the body was found. When they performed an autopsy, they discovered that the child had been beaten severely from child abuse, which she died from, and was decapitated mainly to prevent police from being able to identify her. Not knowing where to go from there, Kansas City police did everything in their power to try to identify the child and bring her killers to justice. And for the next 4 years, she was featured on America's Most Wanted, Cold Case Files, and many facial reconstruction sketches, as well as 2 busts were made in hopes of identifying the girl, now known as Precious Doe. It wouldn't be until May 5th, 2005 when Precious Doe was finally identified as Erica Green. The identity came from a tip given to police from the grandfather of Harrell Johnson, Erica's stepfather at the time, who was living in Muskogee, Oklahoma. Erica Michelle Marie Green, as it's put on her tombstone of her final resting place, was born on May 15, 1997, to Michelle Pierce. At the time of her birth, Michelle Pierce was incarcerated at the time, so she put Erica in the custody of Betty Brown until she was released. On April 4, 2001, Michelle got Erica from Betty and took her to Kansas City, Missouri, where her boyfriend was at the time. Yet according to many sources, Erica started getting homesick and would cry out. This is when Harrell Johnson would start abusing the child, until one day his abuse went overboard when he kicked Erica in the head, rendering her unconscious, where she died the very next day. Afraid to report it to police due to the fact that both of them had outstanding warrants, not only mention to the fact that these are 2 very disgusting, selfish, horrible people, Harrell and Michelle ended up disposing Erica's body in a wooded area naked. And it was here where these 2 disgusting people took hedge trimmers and decapitated Erica and discarded her like she was trash. And that's when it happened. All this time, in May 2005, after Erica was identified, Harrell and Michelle were arrested in Oklahoma and extradited to Missouri to face trial. When questioned and shown pictures of Erica, Michelle immediately confessed. And I said, y'all forgive me right here. I'm going to go a little bit off script right. Because normally I try to stay professional in these videos right here, but Some videos and some stories, such as, the case of Erica right here, just make my blood just boil. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry, just forgive me. But to get back on track, when Michelle immediately confessed, she and Harold were both charged with murder. Yet 3 years later, in October of 2008, Harold Johnson was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life without the possibility of parole, while Michelle Johnson was given 25 years due to taking a plea deal in exchange for her testimony against Harold. Precious Doe is one of those sad and tragic cases that, it hits you, it hits you right there in the pit of your heart once you hear about it. But it's also a case that had a silver lining and a very happy ending. Because not only was this case quickly solved and the murderers captured and now are rotting in prison like the selfish scum of the earth that they are, but it is really great to know that another John and Jane Doe has finally been identified. Rest in peace, Erica. You're in the hands of the Lord now for all eternity.
Stone today for a little girl we've come to know as Precious Doe.
2 Kansas City officers found her headless body back in 2001. What followed a years-long search to find out who the girl was and what led to her death.
41 Action News reporter Ali Hoxie joins us live with more on this young girl's story that captivated a nation. Ali?
Patrick and Lindsay Precious Doe would have been 20 years old today. This morning, the community is coming together to celebrate her life. Officers found her unidentified body in a wooded area at 59th and Kensington back in 2001. She became known as Precious Doe. It would be years before we would learn her name is Erica Green. Investigators say her mother's boyfriend was drunk and on drugs when he kicked the toddler in the head. They didn't seek help, but rather decapitated the girl and hid her body. Erica's mother pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and got a 25-year sentence. Her boyfriend is spending life in prison without the possibility of parole for the murder. Erica Green is buried at Park Lawn Cemetery this morning at 10 a.m. Community members will gather to place balloons, stuffed animals, and flowers on her gravestone. A larger event is planned this afternoon at 5:30. Reporting live in Kansas City, Ali Hoxie, 41 Action News Today.
Ring around the rosy, this evil thing, it knows me. Lost ghosts surround me, I can't